Hi everybody, Army P here for eXplorminate, and I'm here with Shortest Trip to Earth, and if you're noticing that I'm in the middle of battle, that's because I made a crucial mistake. You see, in between the last time that we decided to play, I decided to show a friend of mine this game, and that sounds like a great idea, doesn't it? Unfortunately, what I didn't realize is that this game is Iron Man. So by showing him the game, and then of course restarting because I ended up dying, I ended up forfeiting my game. So we are taking up exactly where I just left off showing a friend of mine. So here we are, we're showing off this game from where I left off from a friend of mine. So it's unfortunately it's not linear from where we left off, but here we are. If you remember last time, we ended up being in a battle with the rat people, which ended up unfortunately not going our way in the very first Let's Play, but it will go in well in this one. So we are going to fight the rat people here and see where we're at. My apologies for this, everybody. I know it's not concurrent, but this game is not one that you can play several games on. Unfortunately, there's no save game that you can have, very much like Faster Than Light. It's a game that, like Faster Than Light, you play it once and that's it. So, apologies, everybody. Now, that being said, the game that I'm currently playing is actually doing quite well in direct comparison to the one that we left off on. So, here we go. We got into a rat fight, and it looks like we got a lot of bonuses. Far more than I had last time. In fact, I need to dump some of my organics. And we got a stealth decryptor. Let's install that here. What does a stealth decryptor do? Allows ships to detect enemy fleets with stealth value 1. So we've never actually encountered a stealth ship. So this is quite interesting. So let's start repairing some of these damaged vessels that we have. And we'll go from there. So, yeah, again, apologies, everybody. Is what it is. Sometimes you want to show off the game to real-world friends, and then guess what happens? Why don't you... There you go. Repair this there, buddy. One thing I can say, and it's kind of frustrating, is that commanding your crew, it seems more difficult than... it is in Faster Than Light. Maybe it's because of the fact that there aren't necessarily rooms, like it's just a giant room in a lot of ways, but it definitely is a little bit more challenging, to say the least. It's not nearly as tight, anyway. So, standard Terran ship, we'll, put him there. Why not? It's a point defense. We need someone to repair our warp drive because we're not going to go anywhere with that. Why don't you repair that? And we got someone in Cryosleep. I don't remember having someone in Cryosleep, but it is what it is. Now, apparently, if you're in Cryosleep, you actually don't use as much organics, so which seems kind of like a... It seems, I mean, I get the very basic mechanics of it, because if you have an additional crew member that you don't necessarily want, it's fine, but the bonuses don't necessarily make sense to me anyway. Let's put him, and we got like a giant, what is this called? Bombwad Masic? Sure, whatever. So, yeah, needless to say, we've probably gotten a little bit further. We're probably at the exact same point that we were before than we had. Let's go into our jet engines. And this guy's good at repair, so I guess we'll just make him a repair guy. No role, we'll make him a ship repair officer. So he's probably going to, yeah, there he is. He's going to repair some of the holes that we've got in this ship, increasing our ship hit points. Okay. What else we got? We got a multi-container. What's this here? It says a resource pack. We don't have a lot of Terran energy reactor old. We got no missiles. What's a resource pack do? So let's just unclick this. And what's a has organic substances ready for consumption. Provides 100 organics if scrapped. So I think that a multi-container has a capacity of 300 organics. So let's just see if what this does. So I should be able to hold more organics. Let's see if this works out. And it does. Worked out well. So we have the exact same organics, and we have a multi-container that has more fuel, more everything, actually. This has actually worked out really well. It's a good upgrade. And store all and close. So I want to get this guy out of Cryosleep. I wonder how I do that. Number of Cryosleep tubes. Defreeze all the crew. He's defreezing. He's at 100%. What does he do? He's good at shooting. Why not? Automated Gatling gun. We're going to put him in the Gatling gun. So that's where we're going to go. No, apparently no, he's not going to do that. How about this? Which is point defense. Let's put him on point defense. Okay, so we actually can do point defense. And this one is our inspecting ship. He's a ship repair officer. Okay, so pretty much where we need to be. Let's go for, resume game. And we're going to go to our map. So just to show you where we are right now, because that seems only fair. Obviously, this seems incredibly different from the last Let's Play. Apologies, but we have just eventually gotten back to, I believe this is our second sector that we've gotten to. So we've gotten, a little bit farther than we did last time. So why don't we, we got a shipwreck. Oh, we've got a warp life coming at us. We got apparently to the shipwreck before the warp life got to us. This broken ship features unknown design, and our scanners show presence of active technology, but no life. The ship automated defense systems might be online. Approaching is risky. What's in a drone? It's a well-preserved shipwreck, and we got a whole bunch of goodies, which is awesome because we have a lot more capacity now that we've got that deal here. Oh, what's this? A DY engine. Custom-made engine manually assembled from spare parts. Terribly inefficient. So, what's ours? It doesn't look like it's better than ours. Non-combat sensor. I don't think that's better than ours. No, none of this really steams. We're just gonna. Okay, so here's the warp life. So we closed. We're not gonna install any of the gear that we had. We have encountered a flock of warp eels. These peaceful creatures are known for their beautiful telepathic songs that even nearby passers can hear. Their bodies are also full of exotic substances. I think that we're going to listen to their songs because we just got out of battle. So you and your crew are filled with intense and beautiful emotions, and you listen to the eels singing together. Their telepathic songs seem to be mostly about love and its different forms of expression. We document the encounter and gain valuable Xeno data. Oh, okay. And we ended up getting some fate points. Cool. So, where are we now? It looks like we got a planet that we haven't discovered yet, so let's go here. Oh, we have discovered a primitive civilization. These highly intelligent mammals seem to be hardworking and ethical by our advanced standards. Intensive hidden observations reveal an egalitarian society based on respect and trust. So we got some Xeno data and some fate points. So one thing I have noticed is that your fate points don't carry on collectively between your games. So that's important because if you have a game where you got really far, your next game you're going to have more fate points. But if you have a game that, let's say you got very, you ended up having a bad RNG and you don't go very far, your fate points are based off of your last mission. So just for future reference, it's good to know that your fate points aren't one of you don't have them. Your highest points of fate collection doesn't necessarily equal your next playthrough and the following playthroughs past that, which seems a little bit bizarre, because like progression would be that if you have a whole lot of fate points, that progressive gameplays would be easier for you, but that's not necessarily the case as far as I can see. Okay, so the locals call themselves the Cryosleep. After meeting with our ambassadors, they asked for our help. This is interesting. There's a group of alien pirates on the planet who are regularly raiding the Cryosleep. The pirates are in underground caves and can only be attacked in close combat, which is strange because these guys look like mind flayers on an elephant body. You'd think that they would do just fine. So what should we do? Should we help them out and get the bonus? Why not? Attack the pirates. Oh, attack repelled. The primitive projectile weapons of the pirate gang are more dangerous than we thought. I lost 4 crew? Oh, total crew hit points. Despite scores of pirates annihilated in our advanced weapons, they managed to seriously hurt our crew and destroy a number of drones. Our operatives fall back and regroup. Oh, a magic artifact promised. The Cryosleep, after hearing of our loss, promised to give one of their most holy and secret magic artifacts if we defeat the pirates. They tell the artifact is a magic machine from another world beyond the stars. Well, I mean, we're in for a penny, in for a pound at this point. Why not send more crew? Our operatives are better prepared this time. More explosives and drones were used to attack the pirate hideout. Unfortunately, the pirates had also been prepared, and our crew received multiple direct hits from portable rocket launchers during the encounter. Scavenging reveals the thugs had collected quite the stash of resources over the years. So we even had more hit points, but we gained tremendous amount of everything else. Organics, fuel, metals, synthetics, explosives, fate points, and exotics. Oh man, I'm never going to get this right. Cryosleep express infinite gratitude and give us the promised artifacts, which proves to be a ship module. The newfound freedom of the entire Cryosleep civilization is later celebrated in a grand feast, which gives us tons of organic. Wow, I'm really glad that we ended up getting that extended organic ability to, or that storage bay, because we are just teeming with it now. So what do we got here? It's a warp drive, crystal A type. So we click on that. Warp drives allow jumping between one star system and another. It uses 46 fuel and requires 3 power. What's our warp drive do? It requires 50 and 4, so it's actually a better warp drive. So let's see if I can't click on that and replace it. And we can. So we got crazy. We ended up with a better warp drive, which is awesome. So curious, we've got lots of guys that show that they need medical help. There's no medical bay. So it says, if I go to the medical bay, it says that they require no organics and might heal wounds while the ship is driving around. Okay, so let's get him, a couple of our guys, to head into the organics bay. I don't know, why don't we have a medical bay? I mean, you'd think that if you were traveling around, you'd have like a medical bay. Sick bay, really. I mean, it's standard fare, right? I guess we're going into Cryosleep. All right. Okay, so we have done everything we can here. So let's warp out into the Alloy sector. Warp to the next destination, please. 2 planets that have not been visited. Well, it doesn't look like there's any aliens attacking us, which is great. We're going to head to this first planet. Strong magnetic interference prevents us from scanning the planet's surface from orbit. We cannot see what's down there without entering the atmosphere. I think we should explore. It's a rainbow world covered in super active semi-biological soup of various rare chemicals. Seems like a good spot for harvesting organics and possibly more. Well, we have lots of organics, so I think that because we have so much organics, we should leave this planet untouched and send drones for scientific samples. Geez, I don't know. Let's go for let's see what else we can get. Research shows that the local rainbow soup is a viable resource, and we can easily set up an extraction and processing facilities here and get a good load of resources that we need. We don't really need organics. We have tons. We have 500. Fuel, we do need more. And explosives were good. So let's set up fuel. Without incident. And we got 112. So that is awesome, because it only takes us 46 to get into this sector. So let's do it a lifeless planet for the second planet. It's a very poor mineral value. It's just a big rock. Oh, well, that sucks. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Here we go. Warp into our next destination. There seems to be a ship with quite the sensor range. Now, hang on a second. If I go to warp, it says that there is a single planet here. Where is the planet? Oh, wow. A metal object. It's a lost cargo container featuring a standard old Earth hegemony design. These containers were historically used to transport mundane commercial supplies. We'll open it. Okay, we got some food and some explosives. That's great. But where is the planet? Oh, he's protecting it. Okay, so we detect one medium and one small ship rapidly approaching tactical weapons range. They broadcast in a Rat Empire credentials. Here we go. They tell us that they're the Rat Empire. Of course, Rat Empires have always been are the bane of our existence. How many organics we have? We have 6 organics and 468 credits. Let's bribe them with the Xeno data credits. Okay, well, that's fine. Oh, come on. Oh, jeez. It's a big ball of sand with nothing, so we paid them off for literally nothing. Let's go to this planet, because it's got 3 different planets and 2 fleets. Oh, well, why not? I don't know why it's taking so long. Why? I wonder why that is, because normally we can just jump instantaneously. I wonder if it's because we're in range of another ship or not. Who knows? Okay, let's see what we got here. Lifeless planet, warp energy signals. Well, that's good. A lifeless planet has a definite warp energy source on its surface. It could be a precursor technology or possibly a warp animal. Let's investigate that. Incredibly, the warp energy emanates from a large robot. Oh, that's cool. Its unusual features suggest precursor technology. It effortlessly hacks one of our drones and communicates safety, and then releases the drone. Oh, okay. Well, let's go closer. As our crew approaches, you get an unnerving feeling that somebody is reading their minds. You need help, the robot states coldly. It looks at our ship and sees pieces of ground raising up in the air around it. The dirt transforms into metal bits, which attaches itself to the ship's hull. The robot then befalls silent. Oh, so it repaired our ship. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay, that was a little unusual. I'll tell you, this game is definitely one of those RNGs, you know, whatevers. Who knows? Oh, it looks like we're getting approached. A fuel trader. Apparently we... sorry. I pressed that button and we got some explosives. That's cool. The planet is volatile atmosphere. Nothing to do here. Well, okay. Looks like we're getting approached yet again. The organic trader, he wants to... we don't need any organics. Although we can sell some credits for one exotic. He seems to be happy with that. Let's go into this field and entering the atmosphere. The planet is completely covered with water. It's probably home to a diverse ecosystem. Presence of pre-industrial sentience is deemed highly likely due to the ship-like objects and floating platforms on the ocean. Send an exploration shuttle into the atmosphere for a closer look. Yeah, let's do it. The exploration team has verified presence of an early civilization divided into small tribes who spend only a fraction of the time fishing. Most of their life revolves around who shares boats with whom, and tribes are formed. Surprisingly, the entire civilization seems to lack weapons or notions of war. We might consider leaving such a rare peace culture undisturbed. Nah, let's tell them they're in a bad spot. Why not? Well, we're going to do some contact. After modeling their language and basic customs, our explorers have made themselves known to the fishermen. Turns out they call themselves the freemen and hold freedom to each who choose their own companions in the highest regard. They bring us cultural and edible gifts and offer a chance to catch some fish in the ocean. Research and harvest and eco-harvest organics. We don't need to go crazy. We got lots of organics. Our operatives carefully and ecologically harvest some planet parts and sea animal eggs without disturbing the local biodiversity balance and or killing any of the fully developed organisms. Research on the local civilization creates some much valuable xenodata. Okay, well, that's pretty much it. It really does seem like Shortest Trip to Earth is almost a quest game more than it is like a faster than light game, because although we do encounter, some adversity when it comes to different ships, the game truly at its core at this point in the beta, or I should say early access, seems more about discovery and having an RNG when it comes to some of these different quests that we encounter. Not necessarily a bad thing, but I think that it's interesting that they kind of market it like faster than light, but faster than light's really its core is that sense of intensity that you get knowing full well that every time that you make a jump from a different system onward, as you start to avoid the fleet that's trying to catch up with you, is that everyone is filled with an intense sense of dread or dread or elation. And unfortunately, this at this point in the game, this faster or Shortest Trip to Earth seems more like a discovery game. And again, not necessarily bad, but it seems to be unusually marketed in direct comparison to Faster Than Light, although it does share certain mechanics. I don't know if it's necessarily the right correlation to make. I've played this game for several hours now, and I can tell you that it's definitely early access. It's definitely in where it needs to be. It doesn't feel nearly as tight or as satisfying as Faster Than Light at this current stage of the game. It has a lot I can see to grow and expand, and I think that it probably could. But I get the funny feeling this is more of a game that you would enjoy if you were playing a resource management and quest-driven scenario versus something that's a little bit more mechanically tight like Faster Than Light. So not necessarily bad, but there's a long way to go before this game, I think, gets to full 1.0 status. There's a lot of things that they could probably do to make this game a lot better, and one of them I think would be a sense of accomplishment by going to each star system, because there are so many times when we get there and aside from finding a planet with nothing or a interesting planet with potentially a lot of resources, you always end up trying to risk your entire crew or your ship itself to try to get the best reward, and generally speaking, you end up getting the best reward either way. So I don't know if there's anything really more that I need to show in a Let's Play besides what I've already shown in these 3 different episodes. If you're interested in it, I would suggest that you throw it on your watch list on Steam, where you can currently buy it. If what you're seeing right now really interests you, and you think you could provide some valuable feedback to the developers, then I say, dive in. It's definitely a good time to dive in to provide that very valuable feedback. If you're looking at it going, well, I'm not sold on it, put it on your watch list. And if everything that you're watching right now doesn't appeal to you, then just simply put it on one of those back burners, and hopefully it ends up becoming a much more solid and tight game as its progression goes forward into version 1.0. So this has been my Let's Play of Shortest Trip to Earth. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will probably keep my eye on this game to see how it progresses into the future, and I think that if it changes in a lot of good ways, you'll probably be seeing a second Let's Play once it gets out of early access. So this has been Army P for eXplorminate. Thanks for watching.